What is going on? Risk of explosion. Should I be here like? That is dodgy. Oh, welcome back to the channel, guys. We are once again back in the realms of the wonderful Morecambe Bay. It's a really nice evening. I'm out for the sunset, kind of, which is in probably about an hour and a half, but it's really clouded over, but I like that. I'm glad. We've had a lot of clear days here recently, and I miss the old fluffy things in the sky. Now, it's back in action. It's back. Now, I want to make one thing clear. Just because it's back doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be using it flat out like I used to. Of course I'm going to be using it, you know, it's heavy carrying it around with me, but I have thoroughly enjoyed shooting handheld and I've learned a lot from it, and I want to keep doing it, you know, not all the time, because I do love using a tripod. I always have, and I've consistently said that whenever I can, or whenever it's acceptable to start using it again, then I will. But yeah, there's so many occasions, like I've said so many times recently, that it's just, you don't need to use it. Technically speaking, you don't need a tripod in so many situations. So we'll see how I get on with that. I'd say there's a lot of you guys that are the same, that have been shooting handheld, and the tripods are perhaps back out in action. But back in action. But we'll see. We'll see how I get on with that. I'll definitely be flat out using the tripod again within a couple of weeks. But whatever, we'll see. I don't want to put any pressure on myself. Right, not a clue what this evening is going to bring. Oh, there's another one. There's another. Risk of explosion. I'll be staying clear of that field then. Yes, let's go and see what happens for the sunset. And I'd love for you to join me as always. Let's crack on. So I'm kind of glad that this is happening. The first image that I'm taking this evening is without the tripod. He's down on the floor where he belongs. I don't mean that really. But no, in all seriousness, like I was saying at the start of the video, there are so many occasions where you just don't need it, and this is one of them. And I'm even bracketing. I'm taking a 3-shot bracket, and yeah, honestly, from the amount of handheld shooting that I've been doing over the past 2 or 3 months, I just feel comfortable with it, and there's no need to get the tripod out. So this is a wonderful location, and if you've been watching a lot of my videos recently, these are landscapes that I suppose would be quite familiar to you at this stage. We've got these salt marshes here. We're at the sort of estuary, or the mouth of the River Keer as it comes out into Morecambe Bay. It really is beautiful. And what's caught my eye here for this particular shot are these wonderful little pools. I've been photographing these quite a lot recently in and around Morecambe Bay. But what actually caught my eye more specifically is, see how this particular pool here kind of mimics this like quarried wall or little quarried cliff that you can see there. They're both kind of parallel almost, going off in the same direction, and on top of that, of course, the sky is gorgeous this time of the evening, and the sun's kind of coming in and out the clouds every now and again. It's fantastic. Now, there is a fairly high dynamic range because we are shooting directly into the sun, but it's going to work a treat. So I'm focusing down here in the foreground on the little pool, and I've got the camera in that like continuous high shooting mode, which I've been doing quite a lot recently when I've been doing my brackets. I'm going to pop the lens cap off so we can take the photograph. Too many of them recently. It's getting a bit ridiculous. ISO 100 f11, and the middle exposure is about 1/60th of a second. So let's grab these brackets now. Wonderful. Simple as that. No tripod necessary. So yeah, class landscape. The light's looking like it might be quite nice for the sunset. Fingers crossed. I'm not expecting much, but yeah, good first one, and no tripod. Let's crack on. Oh my goodness, how cool is this spot? Wow, it's what did I say in that last video when I was at Morecambe Bay? Lunar. It does feel a bit otherworldly, like with these little rocks, and there's a sign just back there actually. I probably should have read that before I spoke to you, because I want to learn a little bit more about what's going on here. This is so cool. Volcanic. We got some really nice vistas back towards the Lake District National Park as well, which is amazing. Like, I mean, we do everywhere around this side of Morecambe Bay, but it's a nice perspective, I think. And with all this going on in the foreground, we could potentially get something cool. We've got old Wharton Crag as well over the right shoulder. What a treat. And then the left shoulder, living the dream, living in these parts, like right down the throat of Morecambe Bay. And the light's nice, probably past sunset now. What time are we on? Oh no, it's about sunset now, but there's a sort of thick bank of cloud on the horizon, which means there's no chance of any light. Wow, this is awesome. This is so beautiful. No chance of any direct light, but the sky is gorgeous, and I'm going to put an image up on the screen here. I got that when I was last at Morecambe Bay, and I loved that photograph, or at the very least I loved getting an image during the blue hour. It's something that I probably used to do a lot more, and I think in general the blue hour is really underrated, especially where I'm concerned. It's a stunning time of day or night. It's probably night time, isn't it? Great for the photography either way, but I have to be able to make some of this landscape here. This is so cool. So it's probably got considerably darker since before, and that is because I've just met a wonderful gentleman called Anthony. So if you're watching, Anthony, great to meet you. He's a subscriber to the channel, he lives locally, and he recognised me, which is always really humbling, and just, as I always say, just really grateful for the support. So yeah, thanks again, mate. It was fantastic to meet you, and to have a little bit of a chat, well, quite a long chat actually, so that's why it's got a lot darker, but I think it's worked out quite well. I put an image up on the screen here. That's the one that I've just taken of this spot, so it's going to give you a taste of what it is that I'm photographing. Funnily enough, Anthony is in that image. If you look closely, I deliberately kept, I actually said this to him as well, I deliberately kept the person as it was when I was taking the photograph, because that was just before I met him, in the frame, because I felt like it gave it a little bit of scale. I don't know, I just liked it, but he's in the image. Whereas now we're well into the blue hour, but we've just got this gorgeous sort of orange glow across, looking back towards Ulverston. We've got a few nice clouds scattered about as well. What really attracted me to this image at first, well, obviously this incredible landscape with these rocks, but these particular cliffs here have got so much texture in them, texture galore. But the way that the light is kind of reflecting off some of the sands here just to the left hand side of it gives this really nice contrast or juxtaposition almost in textures, and I really like it. So I'm definitely going to get one shooting in the blue hour here as well. Tripod 100% necessary here, unless I want to be shooting at ISO 10,000 or something. So let's have a look what we're going to be shooting at here. Whoa, 5-second exposure, that is unheard of in recent times. 2-second timer, also unheard of. F8, and of course ISO 100. I'm just focusing on these rocks down here. It's going to be pretty much exactly the same composition as that image that I just showed you. 5 seconds, that's what's going on. Brilliant. Just going to grab, I'll show you that one now, but I'm just going to grab a 10-second exposure as well, just in case I want to bring a little bit more detail out of the shadows down here on these cliffs, because it really is stunning. Yeah, that looks fantastic. So I mean, you're seeing that now. I'll have probably blended the darker sky, the darker exposure for the sky with the brighter exposure for the foreground for these cliffs down here. Absolutely fantastic, what a treat. And this location is beautiful. This is really cool. Was not expecting this at all, this kind of volcanic-y feeling. This is mad. And I was saying this to Anthony just then, when we were down at the river, I think I spent a little bit too much time down there not knowing this was here. That's the beauty of shooting local. I can come back here and really get my teeth stuck into this area of this particular location. Fantastic. Right, cup of tea. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's freezing. I don't know, tuning in. It is freezing. I don't know what's going on. The down jacket should have been worn. But anyway, it is so peaceful once again. Thank you all for tuning in. Much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next adventure. Out.